be with you. That was a little better. First off, I just got back from the movies, and I want to say I didn't realize I dressed myself like a ball of sunshine. Like even my socks, I wore fuzzy socks. Because of all the, after I made that video, I realized I got so excited and I went in to go see Wicked for good. And I realized I dressed myself like I'm obviously very happy, right? I'm expressing myself and I didn't realize it subconsciously, so I died laughing. But I got back from the movies. It was good. And I bought my kid, aka Yeti, a Happy Meal because I'm treating her like a human child. And y'all, because I forget to feed her now that I don't give her dog food, you know? Like, this is so hard. Finish eating your popcorn before you eat that. So I got her a Happy Meal, but I'm eating her apple slices instead of her. Last time she didn't really like them. So there you go. You got all the things, Pooties. No. Tell me I'm not a good dog mom. You know, I don't judge you guys for how you raise your kids, so don't judge me raising, like, right? I'm doing the exact same thing you guys do. And I didn't give her soda. So, I'm basically raising my dog LDS. Right? Because if I can't be a member, at least she can be a member. Because, you know, I'm trying to turn wine to water, right? We're trying to go Catholic. I wonder what toy I got. Because we're trying to go Catholic now, or exploration of Catholicism. But before I do that, I mean, okay, y'all, the reason I don't actually desire to be a member, right? Or I can't be a member, actually. I can't be a member according to the doctrine is because alcohol. That is, so the only way I can join y'all is to not have to change anything about myself, right? And the only way to do that is to figure out how to turn wine to water. So, as for why, I think I'm gonna be able to figure it out from the cat book. Because they already have a process in place. Transfiguration, I believe it's called. But that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about novel science discoveries. Right, guys? I don't care who gets credit. I just want it to occur. So someone with an LDS, right? Because right now, the Catholics hold the throne for scientific discovery and innovation, like contributing to science, right? And that's the stuff that the world loves. So, people love like success stories that like bring good, that like are like wild and like completely out of left field. Do you know how left field it would be if all of a sudden Mormons just start popping off and winning all the Nobel Prizes? Yeah, that would make everyone be like, what's going on in LDS, right? Well, we can start easy. We'll start with football helmets. Okay, so one day when I was with my dad, actually, when we were hunting, I was hearing the woodpeckers, and I was getting so annoyed. Not so annoyed, but I was getting so curious. Because I was like, these woodpeckers, everyone's aware of the woodpecker, right? They literally can eat, like punch holes through wood with their beaks and not suffer any sort of trauma or injury to their body whatsoever. Repeating this very traumatic thing over and over and over and over and over again, that when a human, like, you get 3 hits, right? 3 tackles, 3 wrong tackles, and you're out for your career, right? You already finished your food? Where did you learn to eat so fast from? Certainly not me. No, certainly it was not me. No. You won't clog any of your arteries at the rate that I'm feeding you, like, fatty foods. So you've had enough. I'll maybe make you a tofu snack later. Maybe some olive oil or something, you know? I digress. But, so I was thinking about it. Sorry. And I'll let everyone become aware if this changes to water. But I can confirm, it is still wine. But I decided, every day, I'm gonna try. I have to have at least a glass of wine, because the only way that's gonna be possible for wine to turn to water is if I try. So I'm trying, every day. A glass of wine a day will make the water go sway. Go, hey, right? Yeah. Nope, still wine. Okay, anyways. So I was thinking about the woodpecker mechanics in relation to quantum mechanics. Because for this action to occur over and over again, yes, there's different bone densities, this and that, yada, yada, yada. But you have to go down even further than that. What is the woodpecker able to do? And because of what it's doing, is essentially reflecting the energy. I think it's going like a pinpoint. It goes like to concave to convex and reflects it back, and as it does that motion, it amplifies it by going through, right? So it basically makes a circuit, a loop, and pushes that energy back into the wood, and that's how it's able to do that. And so this is when it reminded me of football helmets, right? Because they're not just like taking the blunt force of all that the wood, right? Over and over and over again. There's multifactorial, but you gotta think about it on the quantum level. What is actually occurring is the energy is flowing. The energy is flowing and going back into a directed point, a direct pinpoint source, which is the beak when it's going into the wood. And so with that, I thought about football helmets. And I also thought about nuclear weapons too, right? Or even like anti-bullet stuff, because when you have like material that is absorbent or redirects the energy, tries to right, either stores it, transforms it, carries it, propagates it, right, spreads it out in a very predictable manner versus trying to absorb it all. You see a difference now because football helmets as they exist, they go for it to decrease like absorption, right? Like just like blunt force, like padding, like stuffing in a wall, stuffing in a bear. It's like, no, man, we have like lattice. There's like piezo lattices that people use, or they utilize like the 3D printing and stuff. What you can do is you can even design a helmet that it takes the blunt, or it takes the hit, right? And it's able to absorb not absorb. We're going from absorption to like storage and direction of energy, right? The flow of movement pattern. You can even, and this technology all exists, but you have to put it all together. This is possible, right? A safer helmet is possible because this is one of the biggest problems the NFL has with medical stuff as far as its players, is concussions. Excuse me. And I guarantee you the NFL has plenty of money to be able to make this work, right? What you can do is you have, and they have like mechanical sensors too, or like lights, like luminescence, that lights up when it takes energy and then outputs it, or outputs as light, whatever. So when a football helmet or a hit comes, you can design a helmet instead of just pure absorption, right? Because you're trying to just basically prevent like a shockwave from hitting the brain. Instead of just letting that shockwave just kind of like trying to slow it down, you can like literally spread it out like a ripple, right? Like when rain hits the water and you see like the scatter pattern or whatever. We have materials that you can like store that energy, or try to, based on how you engineer and design the lattices, you can direct the energy to decrease the impact, and you can also embed sensors that could even like do bioluminescence or light up to measure that show when a helmet has hit too much of a threshold, when a brain is like starting to get near a threshold, when the material's about to fail, right? And the brain's gonna be exposed to those hits. Anyways, that's just one idea that someone can, run with. What else do I have? It would help out a lot if we actually figured out what is going on with electricity. I think I mentioned that in my last video. my Everything Extraordinary About LDS, y'all. Yeah, so if anyone's in the fields of science and STEM, like BYU, y'all have some research projects you're working on, hit me up. I will tell you whatever pattern I can perceive, and y'all can get some whimsy science awards. Because I don't care who gets credit, I just need more of the species to catch on that a higher form of cognitive development is already being utilized, and people that utilize it succeed, like get to do more in life, right? They operate at a higher level. I don't need membership anywhere to do that. So I appreciate people talking to me about like getting the membership or whatever. The only way I will ever pursue membership is if those that are located at the very top, the top 13 or 15 of them, whatever they are, those are the only ones I would accept an interview for membership. Period. Those are my only standards. So beyond that though, if we want to talk about how extraordinary everything else is, about how, you know, perhaps someone can utilize this to make some breakthroughs in like all sorts of aspects of science and technology and this and that, right? Yeah. I forgot what another one was that I had. I think that'll be it. That'll be it. This will be a nice short video. Oh, actually, I do want to see. Oh, that little thing I made in that one video that I showed. The art exhibit that I did to the Cops theme song. That little guy I have, I press him for when I'm lacking temperance. It says press for lack of temperance. That's my when I'm frustrated button. Which is coincidental, right? Oh my gosh, what are these, like little like Christmas decorations? Look at him. And this. Oh, I have been actually thinking a lot more. This reminded me, because I was thinking about, I don't know why that reminded me. This reminded me of the Catholic cannibals, the cannibalism symbolism, because I've been really wanting to deep dive it and thinking about it, because I don't want, you know, to offend the Catholics. It like really took me back by surprise. I don't know if that's like shady or not, or like, I don't know, it looked like foggy. But I don't want to offend the Catholics at all, right? But I was just so taken aback by the wording and doctrine, because I looked it up. Like, yes, this is a thing. They literally believe it turns into a human, like a human body part. That is cannibalism. However, if you look through history, humans have always practiced cannibalism in a symbolic way, but they would actually literally eat pieces of other people when they were practicing it in a symbolic way, and not do it in a way where they actually invoke like food that is edible, right? The people that, so I think that's what threw me off, right? Because every time I was familiar with cannibalism, when it's used in a religious text, it was like literal, like they would literally kill someone though, or when someone died, they would literally take a piece of them and eat it. And so I can understand why Catholicism, right, in the modern day, they don't necessarily want to make people eat a real live human body. So that's why they symbolize it with the food. But then it gets confusing, because in the doctrine it literally says that it changes. They like teach it changes into literal human flesh and blood. You can call it whatever you want. You can call it divine. You can call it holy. You're still practicing holy cannibalism, which arguably the people that actually did do cannibalism in the past, historically, these different tribes, these different areas, they literally ate someone that they killed, or something they killed, you know? Anyways, I digress. Which actually, though, that reminds me, because I've practiced that type of level of sacredness. So I understand what the Catholics are getting at, because I went dove hunting recently with a couple of my friends, and we only got one dove, which was a bummer. They showed us how he skinned it or whatever, like they got the breast meat, and he like coincidentally he's like, oh, the heart's right here too, and I just saw it, and my first instinct was like, I'm gonna eat it. So I grabbed it and was like, yeah, I want to eat it. Because so they actually shot two. There wasn't, Yeti, you already ate your food. They shot two, but we couldn't find one dove. And so I just felt so bad, because it was just like, I should have been paying attention more when like they were shooting, or like when anyone was shooting, like when we were like aiming, so I could see, right, if they did get something, so I could help track it, right? And so I felt responsible for like that animal dying and being like left or killed by us, man, but we gave up so easily to try to find it, right? But it wasn't like the cactus. So it was hard. It was definitely hard to walk through there, and it was very pokey. Like, Texas cactus are huge. Like, everything's bigger in Texas as far as the spikies. But oh, I forgot where I was going with this. Oh yeah, so I ate the heart because I felt, because he said it, and it was just so random. It was like it pinged in me, being like, oh my gosh, like, even though I didn't shoot the animals, I get a chance to like honor them, because I recognize like we got this opportunity to like go hunt and kill other creatures, other life, right? Because I consider everything sacred and reverent, and if I truly consider everything sacred and reverent, I'm going to show my respect for it. So I ate the dove's heart. After like the little boys like touched it, because they were like, because I was like, I'm gonna eat it, and they're like, well, we want to touch it first, and I was like, okay, like here. And then I ate it. And then with the last two deer that I shot, actually, I started this because, again, after what I learned, because when I went to Oklahoma City and Minneapolis, I learned like the Native Americans is very, very much saw the land, and they had a very unique relationship with nature. Like, they honored it very sacredly and reverently and understood it through and through. And so oftentimes they would honor things that they killed by like eating some part of it in its like raw form, right? Whether it's whatever, right? And so when I would kill my deer, I would just lick the arrow. I would lick the blood off the arrow. That was as far as I would go, to show my honor and respect for the animal, right? I'm aware that there's other cultures that do things a little more, like, you know, to a more sacred depth. But for me, for what I felt comfortable with, that was just my level of sacredness that I gave to the deer. But it didn't taste bad. It didn't taste bad at all. By far, human blood is much worse than any blood that I've tasted out of those two animals. Like, their blood, the dove's heart was actually like really good. It was like it was like a subdued taste of iron. Very subdued. It felt like a little, like, I don't know. That was very gentle and subdued. Just a couple little squishes, like a little squishy gummy heart. That's what it was. That's exactly what the texture was and everything. And then, you don't like apples. Last time you didn't eat them, and I found them on the carpet, and I got mad at you. You like fried food. Okay. I wonder why they have a tree on the, oh wait, apple slices. Duh, the baby tree, but that looks like a baby Groot. Huh. That looks like a baby Groot on theirs. Apple slices. I forgot what I was saying. Okay, I won't ramble too long. Sorry, I just like making these videos. I was trying to ramble, I'm trying to make ideas for people to just like get inspiration to just run with an idea, right? Like whatever business, whatever idea you have in your head that you're kind of stuck with a problem or something like that. I'm hoping this inspires someone in their life to be able to have like an aha moment for them, and it helps them with something in their life, right? Like creative or problem solving or whatever. Because that's what makes it fun, man. That's what makes life fun. And that's what gets some opportunities. So I do have some emails I got to respond to. So I'm excited about that. So I guess I'll do that. I gotta think of more. I have a whole like whimsy binder of like all sorts of like invention ideas. Oh, like one thing for instance, like car manufacturing, right? Guys, don't buy car manufacturing warranties, because when you're buying a car brand new, right, the manufacturing process of cars, of the car marketing industry, they're aware down to like very minute statistical analysis of their manufacturing processes. They know their outputs, they know their margin of errors, they know their recall rates, they know like their defective rate of catching it or whatever, and their manufacturing product companies, whatever their processes, they have that all down to a science. They're aware of all those stats. And so when someone's buying a brand new car and then you're paying for that extended warranty, they're technically double dipping, because all of those parts guaranteed are designed to not fail within that threshold that you purchased your warranty in. They are under, that is what they have been engineered to be able to sustain as far as load and wear and tear for what is defined within their normal limits. And so for car companies to charge people for an extended warranty, you're double dipping on that, because you are very aware that your manufacturing processes are much better, and the chances of you having a margin of error where you actually have like a slip up or a 1 off, 2 off is much less compared to telling people and selling them on these extended warranties and pretending like you won't cover things, because there's no logical way that anyone can prove that stuff should be automatically covered due to manufacturer's warrant or failure, because you guys are aware of your failure rates, of your error rates in your own factories. Tell me that's not double dipping. Okay. Anyways. What else do I got here? I'm starting to pay more attention to Southwest Airlines, because they've made some dramatic shifts in their policy, and I purposely fly them because them and Delta out of the US carriers have a statistically significant difference compared to the other airlines as far as their safety record goes in correlation to airplane crashes and losses of lives. So yeah, I think I've talked about that before though. When I'm going for like a real thrill, right? And there's a lot of airlines out there, right? There's other ones that met the criteria too, but for the ones that had like the largest breadth of logistical infrastructure and availability for flights and pricing, Southwest and Delta. And then this was out of like American, United, what other big ones? Like Frontier and Alaska and Hawaii. They were in there, but their routes are smaller, not as vast as those guys. But out of the big three Americans, American, United, and Delta stands out. Delta's doing something significantly different, and in a very simple way, which is why their safety record is different than United and America, as far as how many lives they've lost due to crashes, airplane crashes. Data just speaks for itself, y'all. It's all hidden in plain sight. I just don't know what else to say. Okay. Well, I guess I'll stop there. I have all sorts of whimsies I can talk about. We can talk about, actually, I don't know how long I should wait to get an email from LIGO, because I mean, I dropped them a goody yum yum. And like, I can just take all their data and go say, hey, who wants to go analyze gravitational wave data in a very new, novel way that will result you in a Nobel Prize? Who doesn't want that? Right? But, oh well. I figured I'd offer it to LIGO first, since they're the ones that it's their data. And I wrote them the sweetest email. That's like the sweetest email, like complimenting them, and like I was so inspired by it, and I just don't understand it. So now, if anyone's interested in it, just, Make me aware. Oh, and also, if anyone has the people that made the Lego kit, the Lego Milky Way Galaxy kit, I would like to get the answer key or the icon key with what each of the pieces represent, symbolize. Because there's some very, very unique patterns in there. That also demonstrate just very, like, if you look at certain areas in the map, you're gonna be like, there's something that's gonna be found here. There's gonna be something that's gonna be found here, because it just follows this very unique and obvious pattern on the board. And in the podcast, they said that they designed it astronomically, like, correct. And they got in, like, research and astrophysicists and whatnot to make sure it was correct when they were designing the Lego kit. And I'd be like, okay, well, you guys should have given me the symbol map then of what everything means, because there's a lot of stuff here that I'm very curious about to see if you guys are aware of it. Anyways, I guess no one's as interested in space stuff, but I'll stop there. Oh, one thing I was gonna say, LDS people that still tune in and whatnot, I would challenge you guys, when you see someone obviously, like, right, it's easily perceived as like a troll comment, right? Someone that's saying something rude or trying to be off-putting, that should be an immediate red flag that they are in a state of learning, okay? So when you're talking about them, you can be, right, because I don't like when other people, I'm going to start holding y'all more accountable now, because you guys are aware. You guys are, like, aware that you're smarter than other people, to be quite frank, at this moment in time. At least what you've demonstrated, okay? Your capacity to understand these nuances. But that means, though, that you guys are held to a higher standard when I'm going to interact with you guys. Because if you describe other human beings in a derogatory and detrimental and purposeful, rude way, and you're not aware of it, then I'll make you aware of how you are talking and describing other human beings. Because that means that that's how you talk and describe yourself. People only think to the level that they can think about themselves. But I will end it there, and I'm going to start responding back to people. Hold on, let's see if it turned to water. I can confirm it did not. So, should keep trying, but anyways, peace be with you.